they went 3-2. Both their wins were shutouts. They lost 3-0 in their first game to Florence, South Carolina. They beat Cheyenne, Washington 2-1 in the semis. It was a heroic 6th-inning 2-run hit by Garrett Springer. And then a 1-0 loss to League City, Texas in the finals. Micah Toller, Heritage Hills High School.
Runs just a bit tough to come by in the early going here. There have been opportunities for both teams.
And we have not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Base runners in every frame. And that will continue. Toller leads off the third with a single.
Firmly hit ball into right field, squirts a little bit. 2 rows left. Snatches it.
Pitcher versus pitcher right here. Smith staring out at Larson. You don't get pitcher versus pitcher very much in the major leagues anymore, Larry, but there was a time that it was a daily occurrence in one league. And as a kid, it was always interesting to me to watch the pitcher face the pitcher.
It is, and now you hear about pitchers on the field. It comes so much earlier, especially at this kind of a level. As we're going to talk our way through how we want to attack one of the best hitters in the lineup today.
And usually I think he knows your anchor might be or something like that, but pitchers like see Larson pitch come in 26 pitches in the second. Fly ball left field. Congo back. Oh, the line goes down against the fence. Toller getting around third. And a collision between Toller and the catcher Erickson. And all the way to third goes Smith. It's 2-0 Rockport. And we will see if there's any conversation here about interference, obstruction, and the like.
We absolutely are going to have a conversation about this. Ball clock, as you can see, so you have to come back to get it. The throw's a little bit offline to the relay man, and here comes the collision. He goes over to catcher. Erickson goes over to field the ball, and there's a side out throw off balance. And the runner coming in and just put him down.
All 4 umpires are going to come together. You see with the ball coming in, it's pretty clear Erickson wasn't thinking about colliding with the base runner. He was thinking about pursuing the ball, which took him into the base runner.
He was going to make a play on the baseball. That's the first and foremost thought that prevails.
Who has the right of way in that type of situation, particularly with a throw offline?
Doesn't matter if the throw's online or offline, but just think of a shortstop going to field a ground ball and the base runner runs over you.
The umpire will show the same sign, so we're not going to get anything changing. Pretty good shoulder-to-shoulder contact there between Toller and Erickson.
And then after the collision, the ball went to the backstop. Very alert. Anderson Smith hustled over to third base and picked up an extra base.
And an error has been charged to Carter Carr, the shortstop, for the relay throw that got away. I do think it's justice that the run counts at 2-0. But that collision did create the error in a way that potentially moved Smith over from second and third with nobody out.
I think it's justice from the standpoint that he would have scored. Yes. You know, if the collision had not occurred, he still would have scored. You gave up an extra base because of that. You see, that makes sense. But I also don't think that you can just randomly crash into fielders trying to make a play.
Line drive, right center field, well struck. That one bounces on the track. Smith scores on the Peyton Gray extra base hit. To third he goes. The throw is safe. The throw is in time, but he was safe anyway. 3-0 Indiana.
Stalls the ball into right center field, and that ball is going to make it all the way to the warning track. And he never slows down at all as he runs around second base. He's taking a free the entire way. It's a good relay throw. Roach catches the ball to his left side, two hands it.
Oh, what a slide.
Great slide. Reaches the arm out to the base, and the tag comes on the legs, and he sneaks his way in. Terrific slide.
I was stunned seeing it live that he wasn't out because the throw was there, but that was Neo in the Matrix quality slide from Anderson Smith.
The throw just a little bit in, and from the position that you're at out in short right center field, it's a tremendous throw. But a little bit toward the left-hand side. And a great job of base running by Gray to see that he had to go to the inside of the infield to avoid the tag.
I said Smith, obviously it was Gray. Gets his first hit here in Shelby, an RBI triple. And Nebraska on the ropes a little bit here. Single, a double, and a triple to start this inning. And here's Dick Luco.
I was a little surprised he was going for the triple.
Me too.
Because I thought there was plenty of time, and it was a good throw.
That's foul down the line at third.
You're throwing from short right center, so you're throwing the ball 150 to 180 feet, and you're 8 inches off the base or so. Not a good play.
Now it's in for Luco. Rockport coaching staff expects Declan Luco to pitch. At some point, they hang around. Pitched 4 innings in the regional. To the first baseman, midfield knocks it down, flips it to for the out, another run is home. 4-0 Indiana, and Luco gets his first RBI at the American Legion World Series.
Luco in place to the right side, sharply hit. Nice job by Larson to continue to run over to cover first base to avoid the out. Indiana comes up with the easy run.
Rockport momentum has continued from the regional. Of course, this is after they lost their first game of the regional. 4 of the 8 teams here in Shelby, Larry, lost their first game of the regional, turned around and won 5 in a row. That's called for a strike. Quickly, Berger goes down looking. 2 gone here in the third for Fort Wendell. It's a record, by the way. The previous record was 3 teams winning a regional after losing their first game, and it happened 5 times, including last year. 4 teams losing the first game and then playing backs against the wall baseball, winning 5 straight. It's Another bit of history as we begin this year's World Series here in North Carolina.
Man, you gotta put that record book down and get some sleep.
Some of us have a job to do. Don't ask me what page I heard that on, but now the folks here do an unbelievable job feeding us great information. 1-2 to right, throws back to the fence, crashes to the wall, and then Portland tripped around first, and he is shaken up.
And he went down very, very hard. May have been looking at the baseball in right field, but he went down hard at first base, and that's not what you want to see from your catcher.
Back on his feet.
That is what you want to see from your catcher.
He just kind of started stumbling, going into the base.
And then the foot slid across the top of the eyes of that stumble before him and set everything up.
First few innings have been an adventure for these right fielders. Now 6 hits against Kalai Larson.
You know, there's a lot of times in this game of baseball where you can just assume certain things. And you kind of say, okay, that's a stand-up double, that's this or that. You really got to pay attention here this morning.
7th inning. Walked in the second. Back up there against Larson. 9 inside. Pitch count getting up there for Larson. At this point, this could be his last inning. Now back.
But another thing that you find out as we speak to the coaches is that you can never have enough depth with your pitching staff. And guys that found themselves maybe not necessarily high on the priority list step up to go 5 shutout innings and save your team at some point in time.
And for a lot of these teams, part of the journey to their success is having an unsung hero, come out of the bullpen and unexpectedly shove in a situation where you're not sure what you're going to get. Two outs, 3 runs already in here in the third for Rockport, Indiana. 2-1 pitch. Released foul off to the right, now to play. This game, just about an hour old. Not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Indiana got the first run in the second inning on Craig Pruitt's single. Tacking on 3 more here in the third. That's going to be strike 3. Could not hold up. And 7th inning. Strike 7. 2 more strikeouts in the inning. That's 5 strikeouts now for Larson, who's also been taken for 6 hits and 4 runs. Indiana in front. Well, 2 very different stories for the 2 starting pitchers through 3 innings. Kalai Larson has needed 70 pitches to traverse his 3 frames. Meanwhile, Anderson Smith sitting at 33 pitches in 3 innings. He has hit 2 batters and given up a leadoff double, but he has escaped unscathed every time. Evan Leffler with former Major League All-Star Larry Sorensen, delighted to have you with us. And 4th begins through a chopper foul, Connor Arms. Strike 1.
Best pitch in baseball.
Strike 1's better than strike 3.
I'll start with strike 1.
Hard to start with strike 3.
Be a lot more successful starting that way.
High fly to center. Brown going back at the track, at the fence. Goodbye, baseball. Lincoln, Nebraska has its first run, courtesy of Carter Hart.
well, particularly out to the right side. I didn't think that ball off the bat was hit to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark and was going to make it out of here. Trees don't look like they're blowing all that much on the other side of the fence. Oh, well struck.
To left field. And Berger takes care of Kalai Larson's fly out. That's 2 pitches and 2 at bats that Kalai Larson has seen.
And all of that, as you said earlier, feeds into Anderson Smith's game. Throw strikes more quickly. Do you think that ball was out?
Off the bat, I did not. I thought he kind of got off the end of that, but clearly there was more barrel than I initially saw. What do you think?
I didn't think it was out, but it got there pretty easily.
It is a very humid day. We expect it to be a humid weekend. Rio is in there for a strike to Erickson.
390 feet to straightaway center field. 320 down the left field line. And a 10 in front of the sign on the right field line.
Just to get under your skin a little bit. I believe it's 320 down the right field line as well. It's tough to hit the ball out in this ballpark. We've gone days without seeing bombs, but they also can come in bunches. Peyton Gray is short. Over to Luco at first. After the home run, Anderson Smith has bounced right back. Bryson Rhodes will bat with 2 outs, and the base is empty.
Little side arm flip with some flair. By Peyton Gray.
Darryl Stevens, who is officially the general manager, team manager of this Rockport squad, he's been around for decades. He said that Peyton Gray, the shortstop, throws on the run as well as anybody he's ever seen. Now, with all due respect to Michael Lonick, it's one thing Lonick says that because he's been alive about as long as the manager Stevens has been with this Rockport program. Not even. Trying to come back from 3-0 in the second straight hitter.
It's actually becoming a much more prevalent style of throwing at higher levels.
Center field again. Brown backpedals again. This one stays in the yard. And Brown puts it away. Carter Barnes. Lead off. Dinger. Nebraska on the board, but it's Indiana in front. 4-1. Midway through the opening game here at the World Series. 2025 marks 100 years of Legion Ball in the United States of America. The first World Series was in 1926. The second was in 1928. Pretty much every year since, except 2020.
And now stationed here in Shelby. I had to laugh at the orientation meetings the other day because the various branches of the service, all great friends obviously, but the ribbing got a little bit more intense between the different services as the evening went on and as different teams came through. And it was really funny to watch, folks giving it back and forth to each other.
Are you partial to one branch of the service over the other? Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine?
I have a son-in-law that's stationed at Fort Bragg, down in Fayetteville. So that's where I get the majority of my military information.
the fourth. These are 7-inning games, so they get late pretty quick. Braden Pruitt had the first RBI for this Rockport squad in the second. They had 2-0 to start the fourth. Rockport, Indiana was last year at the Legion World Series in 2016. They lost in the semifinals to the eventual champs from Texarkana, Arkansas. For right center field, how about Braden Pruitt? Coach told us that he was hitting .095 for the year. And he's 2 for 2 out of the 9-hole to start the World Series.
Started swinging just a little bit better, but again, the beauty of the event makes heroes out of people, and it's a wonderful thing to see. Right center again, we started to see the ball check up. Don't forget about that for later on. We'll see more play.
Here's Ty Brown. Third baseline foul. There are many guys on this Rockport team that have relatives who played for this program, including Ty Brown. His stepdad played in the 80s. And you can just go down the line, and pretty much everybody has a connection to this program. It's an organization that the community has supported in unspeakably generous and incredible ways. Of course, Coach Hoff has been around since the 1950s. He was a pitcher for the 1959 Indiana State Champions. He threw a one-hitter versus Lafayette, closed 11. You know how he celebrated the state title in 1959? The traditional fire truck ride through the center of town.
There you go.
There was a picture of Coach Hoff on the fire truck that I saw in an old Indiana State Legion guide. We may need to pull that out and show it on the broadcast. Do a little side-by-side comparison from 18-year-old Jim Hoff to 83-year-old Jim Hoff.
He's still got some fire in him.
No doubt. First and second as Ty Brown draws the walk. Second walk issued by Larson, but he's getting up there. And just shy of 80 pitches, I think he knows his day might be done. If they keep him under 80 pitches, they could theoretically bring him back on Tuesday. If he goes over 80, and unless we get to Wednesday, his pitching time here in Shelby is over.
The count I've got for him is 79. There we go.
And that'll be it for Larson. So our first pitching change, with nobody out and a couple men aboard here at the top of the fourth. Rockport, Indiana, off to a strong start. It looks like it's going to be Grayson Borkman taking over on the mound. Rising senior at Lincoln East High School. Borkman had a 5-inning outing at the regional. 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, but he also gave up 6 hits and 2 walks. So 3+ innings for Larson, and he's obviously responsible for the pair of base runners.
Big body on Borkman. He'll go 6'3", 225. Doesn't throw as hard as you might think he does. get in the 83, 84 mile per hour range. It's been one of the interesting things talking to all the coaches, talking about how much all of these guys spin the ball. And they're able to throw strikes with their breaking stuff.
Is that hair real or is it part of the hat?
I think the hair is real. The question is it the real color?
Definitely not the real color. Although it might be.
It could be.
Yeah, no,
It probably is.
Yeah, it probably is.
My second or third year, I went that route with the card. If you look at the bubblegum card, you can see short and straight when you're young, have some success, gets some tongue in, gets long and frizzy.
Do some Google image deep dive to try and find one of those.
Back to short and clean at the end of the career, trying to fool people.
A ball dropped down by Toller. And out of first base. But a successful sacrifice.
And you can't roll a bunt out there any better than that. Just a perfect bunt and a really close play at first base. Not much time to spare.
Second baseman McIntyre covering. Well, down by 3 runs, Lincoln, Nebraska is going to bring the infield in here with runners at second and third and 1 away. Number 3 hitter in the lineup, Anderson Smith. Just missed.
Rocking a hard place with Smith up there.
You could walk him, but then you got to deal with Peyton Gray, who tripled in his last time up. It does look like he's going to be careful with the first base open. Anderson Smith, described by the team leadership, they say he's cut out of concrete. Fierce competitor. Linebacker in high school, in addition to his baseball prowess. Fly ball, deep right field, deep enough to score a run. Rhodes makes a catch, both runners tag, and it's 5-1 Rockport. Second RBI of the day for Anderson Smith.
Just a little bit late on that ball, but the linebacker's strength was enough to send it to 3/4 deep right field.
So charts that front to Larson. Grayson, Workman trying to escape further damage. Gray triple to the gap in right center last time up. This there, good breaking ball. Gray struck out the first before tripling in the third. Indiana has made these Nebraska pitchers work. Brown leads away from third, and that's inside 2-1.
And they've done a good job taking advantage of the opportunities that they've had.
Strike now to Gray. A 5-1 lead at the moment. And a 2-out walk to Gray. So Luco, a chance to try to break this game open here if he could gap one. He's 0 for 2, did drive in a run. in the 3-run third. On the handful of Kentucky natives on this club. The Ohio River separating Kentucky and Indiana. I have accidentally driven into Indiana before when I was in Louisville, Kentucky. Took the wrong lane, all of a sudden I'm on the bridge in Indiana. Down to second goes Greg, who will take the storm base. It was unfortunate too, because I think I had to pay a toll for going on the bridge.
I thought you were going to say I accidentally drove into that river.
That did not happen yet. Hopefully not anytime soon. It's a fun place to go though. The basketball game at the KFC Young Center, Louisville, Kentucky. 1-1. That's down low. The resurgence for Louisville basketball under Pat Kelsey, former Skip Crosser disciple. Skip, well known in these parts, passed away summer of 2007, tragically. Kelsey coached at Winthrop, Rock Hill, not too far from here, and College of Charleston, now to Louisville.
A lot of great baseball played in this area. In the state. On this particular field, Wake Forest University comes up here every year.
That's right. They play App State here?
Yes. Memorial game honoring one of their alumni.
A ball away from potentially loading the bases here. And that'll do it. Hit him. So Luke go down to first, and this is really precarious right now for the Spartans from Lincoln, Nebraska.
And there has been activity in the bullpen. We can't see it down the right field line behind some of the tents that they have down there.
Well, it's a 4-run lead, and that lead could double up one swing here, and a huge turning point batter coming up for Jared Berger, too.
And a reminder that these are 7-inning games, so when you're past the midpoint, that lead gets big in a hurry.
Lonnick's going to stay with Workman. That was Santino Arenado getting loose in the bullpen, number 15.
I was going to let you get the last moving first.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Jump down.
Big moment here. Not just for this game, but for the whole weekend. Because the first tiebreaker is runs allowed. And 2 years ago, Lincoln was part of a 3-way tiebreaker. 3 teams went 2-1. They had only allowed 3 runs in their first 3 games of full play. That got them into the semis. They won a game 2-1 and made the final. But if you lose a game 9-1 instead of 5-1, it changes the dynamic considerably going forward.
It also changes the mental aspect of how you approach things. It just plants that little seed of doubt in your head. Really tests your mettle.
Workman misses low. Berger's ahead 2-1. Ty Brown the base runner at third. Nate Gray at second. Declan Luco at first. None of them got on to a hit. 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
390s.
Beat off single this inning, and it has unraveled from there for Lincoln's pitching staff. Only 1 run in, and that would be a small victory if Workman could get Berger. Berger 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. 3 balls and a strike.
With the breaking ball, it wasn't able to get over. It's a good pitch decision. Just missed the strike zone.
No place to put Berger. Fort Wendell on deck, and this inning continues. 3-1. Fouled off down the right field line. Headed to the rooftop. So now the base runners can start their engines. Full count, 2 outs. Base is full of Hoosiers. And some Kentuckians who play for Rockport, Indiana. Just missed. Fort pitcher extended to the dugout, but the right arm of Angel Campos stayed down, and it's 6-1 Rockport.
Now Borkman's still upset about it. Erickson held it in place for a lengthy period of time. He thought they had it.
Tough pitch to lay off in that situation.
Well, that's a good conversation to have with hitters too, because we do say that it's a tough pitch to lay off, and it is. Also, when he was sitting on a breaking ball, was completely fooled, and so he had to take it.
Well, here comes Santino Aranaga. It will counter a bases loaded jam. We'll take the time out for the pitching change here in the fourth. Lincoln, Nebraska forced to go to his third pitcher of the inning. And it's Santino Aranaga, the slender lefty out of Lincoln East High School. Borkman ended up facing just 5 batters. He got 2 outs, Larry, but one was a sacrifice bunt, one was a sacrifice fly. The 2 runs that scored this inning, both going against Larson, but Borkman's responsible for the 3 runners on base now. And that's up to Aranaga.
And again, the chess game of what are you looking for, what are you going to swing at? As a reliever with bases loaded, you've got to come in throwing strikes. There's no alternative to that. So you've got to take the pitch that you feel the most confident in, that you can get over, whichever pitch that might be. As you can see from the warm-up, Aranaga is not going to overpower you with his fastball. A little bit deceptive from the left-hand side.
He was very successful, Aranaga was, in the regional. 7 1/3 innings, no runs allowed, 10 strikeouts and a walk over the course of 3 different games that he pitched in. And they call him a utility guy, but he's been tremendously effective. Nebraska needs that to continue here to try to stay in this game. Max Fort Wendell flew out to right field and singled in his 2 at-bats previously. Bases loaded, 2 gone. Strike 1. 81 on the gun from Aranaga.
And even more importantly, a strike.
Fiddling with his grip. Aranaga finds it, and he's quickly ahead, 0-2.
Really nice off-speed pitch.
Wendell steps out of the box for a moment. Make contact here with 2 strikes. So 3 runners left on base. Nice job by Aranaga. He stranded loaded, but Indiana has 2 more. It's 6-1 Rockport as we head to the fifth here in the opening game at Shelby. You never know who you're going to see on the concourse here in Shelby. Human or otherwise. It's hot, walking around in shorts and a tank top here, Larry. I cannot imagine walking around in that black thing. But if you're interested in giving it a try, I know a guy that's on my bucket. I can connect you. Lewis Cockle leads off here at the top of the fifth.
You know full well what a fool I can make of myself just on my own. So imagine me incognito. Bucket list there. You ever known any mascots?
I have.
It's pretty stinky.
It sure does. But I do appreciate how excited my children get when they get to meet a mascot.
Did a trip to Japan, all-star trip to Japan. And the Philly Fanatic was the most popular person on the trip. Where we had Pete Rose and Steve Garvey, and we had an all-star cast on both sides. And the Philly Fanatic was the one everybody followed.
Ball four outside, and a leadoff walk to Cockle. We might see a bunch of Bossier City fanatics later today, because they're the Phillies representing Bossier City, Louisiana.
They take their baseball seriously.
Do. Trevor Roach started the game at third base, moved to right field, and he will watch the runner scoot in the scoring position. Strange start to this inning for Anderson Smith. He did have a bit of a long wait in between the top of the fourth and the top of the fifth, because there was 2 pitching changes plus 8 batters last inning, Larry. See if he can rediscover his rhythm.
And down 5, it generally takes more than just base hits to get yourself back into the ballgame. Piecing together a bunch of base hits to make up those runs is the hard way.
Square to the bunt. And it will be a strike. I would be pretty surprised if he was actually bunting there. I guess he was just taking.
Yeah, well, the mandatory trying to create some confusion for the pitcher, block the umpire's view a little bit.
To center field. Ty Brown barely has to move. 1-1.
You're down to 8 of those gold nuggets that they call outs. You can't take any chances at this point.
Well, the whole schedule changed with yesterday getting wiped out. So these two teams have a little bit of a different slate coming up. Lincoln, Nebraska will be the first game tomorrow at 10 a.m. again. Rockport, Indiana will play tomorrow at 1 p.m. These two teams in the Stars pool, along with Lake City, Texas, is making its 4th straight appearance here at the American Legion World Series. And the squad from Portland, Oregon. That brings the Thunder offensively. I mean, every game carries intrigue here at the American Legion World Series. 8 regional champs and so many storylines, but I'm particularly interested in that Lake City Portland game later tonight, just because Oregon offensively brings in some really impressive numbers, and Lake City, Texas has a track record, and Ronnie Oliver has that program back again for the 4th year in a row. High fly to left. Well struck by McIntyre. Berger at the fence reaches up and brings it back. Conkle tags and moves to third, but a heck of a play out there at left on a scorched fly ball by Jared Berger.
Now that ball I did think had a chance to get out. That was to the pull side, didn't carry as well. And Berger did a great job. He knew exactly where it was and he followed it and prepped himself, set himself up for the catch, knew where the ball was. Just a terrific job going backwards, making soft collision. Fine catch.
Latte swings and misses. Hard shot up the middle and into center field. That's an RBI knock for Latte. The leadoff walk does come back to bite Anderson Smith. 2-out single for Dele Odelante, and it's a 6-2 ball game here in the fifth.
Just caught something on its way down. The breaking ball toward the outside part. He went straight back up the middle. Didn't try to overpower the ball.
Back to a 4-run game. Carter and Carter coming up right now with McPeak, the number 3 hitter, and Clarence, who homered in the 4th in the on-deck circle. Two and nothing on McPeak. Next pitch for Smith will be his 65th. I do not know, but I would think that Indiana will try to keep Smith under 80. Throw down, a second gets away. Never had a chance, and that's just giving up a free base. And Olate's going to come all the way around and score. Too casual defensively from Indiana, and it's a 3-run game.
Sometimes the best defensive play that you can make is to just stick the ball in your back pocket. And that's exactly what Fort should have done there. It's just held on to. He had no chance in second. He went with a sidearm throw, off balance.
Next ball forward to McPeak. I'm not the official score, Larry, but it's got to be 2 errors. Doesn't it? One that sent him over to third on the catcher, and another, the center fielder, not picking the ball and walking by it. Only 1 error has been awarded right now. But it wasn't a 2-base throwing error. It was the second defensive malfunction out in center field that Odelante scored.
And a tremendous mental error that I'm sure will be discussed.
High pop up from Harms. Catcher doesn't see it. Third baseman unable to make the play. Had a long run on Toller. I think about 150 feet down, spot behind the bag at third.
Bit up.
If you want to know Mike Toller's 40 time, you can figure it out with the geometry of the way he just did over there.
He was smoking.
Quickly 0-2 on Harms.
And he was willing to give up his body to make that catch too, wasn't he? He was still going full speed, a couple steps from the wall.
0-2. To Peyton Gray and short. Quick to Tim at second. That's the inning. But a couple of runs. One of them unearned. And all of a sudden, Nebraska's back in. It's a 3-run game through 4.5 here in the opening contest at the 98th American Legion World Series. Well, the action here in Shelby just getting started. A Friday quadruple header on ESPN Plus. Greece, New York, Chesapeake, Virginia. Follow this one. And Later today, it'll be Phil Constantino and former big leaguer Steve Woodard on the call for Portland, Oregon against League City, Texas at 4. And then Asheville, North Carolina, won their first state title in almost 100 years. Taking on the boys from Bossier City, who are back in Shelby for the second straight year. It's a really exciting field in Shelby this season. 3 first-time qualifiers: New York, Asheville, North Carolina, and Portland, Oregon. Officially, Asheville last month won its first state title since 1929. American League Baseball started in 1925, the first World Series in 1926. A lot of Nebraska history in the World Series. Lincoln's the 24th Nebraska team to play in the American Legion World Series. Their head coach, Michael Lonick, he is a baseball guy. And aside from being a head high school baseball coach and a head Legion ball coach and a former player, you know how I know he's a baseball guy, Larry? His sons are named Brooks, Griffey, and Gary.
Yeah, that's a pretty good clue.
His wife, Amy, clearly is a baseball girl, because she is naming their kids Brooks, Griffey, and Gary.
She knew what she was getting herself into, too, didn't she?
2 balls, 2 strikes to Tim. Shallow right field, and it's actually in the foul ground where Carter McPeak makes the play over there for out number 1. You know, those 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning changed the feel of this game.
Absolutely. That fly ball to deep left field really would have changed the feel of it.
Aranaga got the 2 batters he's faced coming on. Now he's going to try to do something that no one else has done today, which is get Ray Pruitt out. Pruitt 2 for 2 from the 9th spot in the order. Rockport, Indiana. Flummoxed by that Aranaga fastball. Pruitt's back in there. He's behind 0-2. Larson, who started this game on the mound for Nebraska and is still on the hook. He's still in the game. He's playing third base. And he will lead off in the top of the 6th when we get there. Roach, who started the game in third base, now out in right field. And that's third strike in there to Pruitt. So Arenaga's dealing.
Good breaking ball. Same as he got with the strikeout to end the previous inning.
Ty Brown, back at the top of the order, his 4th plate appearance. He's reached on an error, he struck out, and he walked and scored. It'll be Larson, Erickson, and then Aranaga due up in the top of the 6th. Aranaga did not have an at-bat for the Rugs in the regional. So that's something to keep in mind. as everybody has been flummoxed by what Aranaga is throwing up there. 2 strikeouts and a lazy pop fly. And now another 1-2. And a fly ball well hit to center. Odolate sizes it up. Uses his cap on the way, but he makes the play. There, Larry Sorensen is the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game.
Right on time and a good jump by Ty Brown.
We head to the 6th. 6-3 Rockport. Well, the scoring started in the 2nd inning. Braden Pruitt, 2-out single, bringing Holmes, Jared Berger. And then in the 3rd, the onslaught continued. 3 runs in the frame for Rockport. Interesting collision there, part of the action. This was a triple for Anderson Smith. And it was 4-0 for Indiana. Lincoln fighting back in the 4th. They get 1 on the Carter Harms home run. Only home run of the game so far, but the deficit continued to grow because 2 more for Rockport in the last of the 4th. Curious defensive plays in the top of the 5th allowed Contour come around, and then Odolate scored 2. Ryan Larson leads off here in the 5th, or in the 6th rather. Rerun game. Every team's guaranteed 3 games. Bunt down the line, looking for a hit. Toller puts it in his pocket. Kalai Larson has a leadoff single. Couldn't have rolled out there any better.
No, and so important to get that leadoff man on who caused a little bit of disruption defensively on the other side of the field.
Toller
just playing fun.
Toller was playing deep too. Well timed. Now Toller's in on the grass. Erickson takes Hine away.
He's in, but 1 run isn't really much of an option. You need to get multiple base runners.
Decision to make for Rockport, Indiana about how much longer they're going to let Anderson Smith go. There's a couple line of thinking, although if he's losing it here, that could change things too. Hit batter, 2-on. Tying run coming to the plate, and it is gonna be Cruz Wavra. And Wavra only got 2 at-bats officially in the regional. He was 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a walk. So Aranaga retires all 4 guys he's faced, but then he's going to be pinch hit for in the 7th spot in the lineup. So welcome to the World Series, Cruz Wavra. Big spot representing the potential tying run. And he might try to bunt. And he takes a strike. I'm just thinking about Anderson Smith, Larry, and do you think about we want to bring him back Tuesday, or do you think about we want him to get us to the finish line in this game? Because those are 2 different questions.
I think you would love to have him get you to the finish line. I'm not sure that he's got enough left. We have had somebody throwing down the left field line, and now they've stopped and gone back to the dugout, which would seem to indicate that they're going to stick with Smith.
Ball on the strike. Wavra squares, and he missed it.
Up and away, now a good pitch to bunt.
What do you think about the bunt? 2 runners over, down by 3.
You need 3. And I hate giving up outs at this point in time.
Walker should get a chance to swing away here with 2 strikes, you think. He does, and he flies it to shallow left. Berger is there. 1 away. Fly balls to left field, Larry, are making me hungry. Because it's right around lunchtime, and Berger is doing good things out there. The smell of the concourse here at Keeper Stadium is wafting lovely aromas.
Yeah, and there's a couple of signs on the billboards that I'm making note of too for later this day.
First and second, 1 out for Cockle. Line right field, base hit. Larson to third, waiting around, he will score. Erickson all the way to third, and the tying runs are aboard.
Doesn't this tighten things up a little bit? Runners on the corners. 2-run ball game. Is there enough time left?
The Rugs continue to believe.
Just handled that pitch very calmly and efficiently, didn't he? Trying to get into right field.
So now it's Trevor Roach. He's 1 for 2. Next pitch will be the 80th for Smith. If he goes to 81, it's likely his game. Runner goes from first, swing and a miss, no throw to second. And now a single could tie it. And Smith is going to cross over that 80 pitch threshold right here. So this is his moment to try to keep his team in front.
But he definitely appears to be laboring a little bit. The body action just not quite in sync the way that when he was smooth and easy in the early part of this ball game.
Different level of tension right now than we felt any other time today, that's for sure. 1-2, high fly to center, playable for Brown, deep enough for Erickson to score from third. Here he comes. Throw to the plate, gonna be close, but not in time. Nebraska has come back within 1.
Well, a good job on the execution of getting the runner into home plate. I'd like to have seen the runner on second base after he tagged, stretch their lead out a little bit, put some pressure on, try to make sure that they have to cut the ball off instead of having to play at the plate. Now you're still stuck at second.
6-5, Indiana leads. It was 6-1. Two in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. And a huge spot here for McIntyre. McIntyre on his way to St. Thomas in Minnesota. He is the heart and soul of this team. Michael Lonick said between 35 games in the spring and 65 in the summer, McIntyre played 109 of 110. Loves baseball and does whatever it takes to win. And he's the leader. And he's the exact guy you want up there in a spot like this.
No question.
McIntyre's 0 for 3, looking for his first hit. Now he's ahead 3-0. Odolate's on deck. The clock thickens. to Latte.
Easy enough to take. There wasn't a lot of temptation.
Long gap. Could put Nebraska in front. McIntyre, pretty good speed at first base. Cockle at second. Smith deals and misses high. You surprised when you get a mound visit for this?
Yeah, a little bit about that because he's really opening up his left side a lot. He's spinning off the ball. You've seen a lot has been up and in to the right-handed hitters. By the way, I thought that was an oddity too when this game started. There was only one left-handed hitter in the lineup. 17 right-handers.
Folks use their right hand in the Midwest. Hard shot, snap at third by Toller, and he grabs the bag for the out. Oh, what a play by Micah Toller to keep his team in front. Nebraska gets 2, but Indiana clings to the 1-run lead. How about that from Micah Toller?
Great diving catch and then great presence of mind to dive over the base.
Flash in the leather, and a 1-run game here at Shelby. Well, Lincoln, Nebraska got 2 in the 5th and then added 2 more here in the 6th. Cockle with the RBI single. Well hit ball by Roach to bring in another run. We'd be tied if not for Micah Toller over at third base. The diving stop on Odelade's shot to end the inning. One of those situations, if there was only a runner on second, we'd still be playing that inning. I'm not sure you'd get it first. We have a new catcher for Lincoln, Nebraska. Logan Hunt. Trevor Roach is on the mound. Logan Roach is the guy I went to college with. Trevor Roach is on the mound. And so who is that catching? That's Landon Moser taking over behind the plate. So the scorebook's getting busy.
Yes, sir.
So Moser's in the 7th spot in the order. That Wabra pinch hit in a while ago, or it feels like. So he's the catcher. Roach is pitching, and does that mean Erickson is out in right field now, Larry? Yes, Erickson is now out in right field. Thank you, Larry.
It was that mental telepathy. Yeah, I go with the computerized version of that, the automated scoreboard. In situations like that, they've got 5 different players in the 7th spot.
It's important to know who's in right field. It's Erickson because he's chasing down this ball, but it's well out of play. So Roach, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Rugs. Toller leading off after the web jam to end the top half of the inning. I'd say about 11% of the time, the guy that makes a great defensive play leads off the next inning.
11%.
1 out of 9.
Okay.
You think it's more?
It's funny how little things like that keep popping up, you know, in baseball. You ever notice how many double plays are hit on the first pitch? To a hitter?
I have noticed that.
That'll stick with you for life.
He's got a little bit of an issue with the pocketbook there.
Batting glove he's pulling on.
I think it's the armband that has the play calls, the signs, motivational quotes, perhaps a chapter of the Iliad.
War and Peace. We do not have communication devices. Do we at this event?
I don't believe we do.
I haven't seen it.
3-2 on Toller. Harms in short. 1 away. Nebraska, Larry, does have 3, 4, 5 coming up in the 7th with McPeak, Harms, and Larson. A pretty good trio that's due.
It's a great place to get it started.
Harms already went yard once. Roach, a fancy wine and a deal, and this is to the starting pitcher Larson at third. His throw is offline, but a good tag over there by McPeak.
Yeah, after you've pitched as much as he did, you can't be too excited about the fact that you've got to throw it over first and third.
Well done by McPeak. Get the ball, find the body. 2 gone for Gray. It was a bumpy start for this Nebraska bullpen with Borkman, but Aranaga and Roach have kept him in the game. This should send us to the 7th. Harms and Aaron throw. Did he get the tag? Well, he didn't initially, but the second effort he got up because Gray missed the bag. You don't see that? A game of tag breaking out down the first base line.
Trying to avoid the tag the first time, kept him away from the base. And a good job of good concentration to come back to tag him out from the elbow.
Let's take a look at the defensive play at the end of the inning. The elusiveness initially from Peyton Gray, but he missed the bag, and then McPeak applied it on the second effort. An interesting sequence sends us to the 7th, and Bronson Pond, the 6'4" righty, takes over looking for the save.
Pond did a great job so far in this, has done a great job so far in this tournament with a couple of appearances.
Larry, are you familiar with the kids' game called Boppin'?
I am not.
It's this electronic thing where there's like this thing you pull, this thing you twist, this thing you pop. The description of Bronson Pond reminded me of Boppin', because as their coach said, he'll break it, he'll bend it, he'll twist it, he'll turn it. He'll do everything but Boppin'.
And yet he's been very effective.
Yes, he has. He had his opponents off balance in the regional. He'll try to do that to Nebraska here in the 7th. First pitch swinging, line to shallow right. It'll bloop in for a base hit. Carter McPeak, representing the tying run, is on pace to start the 7th for Nebraska.
They just don't die.
And keep on coming.
Well, Lott served into right field. We're going to get a pinch runner.
Abram Lynn Christensen takes over as the pinch runner at first base for the Spartans. Carter Harms went yard in the 4th. Fouls this one off. Let's go back to the 4th inning, Larry.
And we showed this replay earlier. This ball didn't just barely make it. This ball got out by a bunt as it traveled out to right center field, one of the deepest parts of the ball. Opportunity available to be a hero.
Nebraska has not led in this game. They were down by as many as 5, trailing 6-1 in the 5th. They have battled back. What drama do we have in store here in the 7th? Softly hit, the shortstop gets the out at second to first. It's close, they got him. Harms a little slow getting down the line, and he's done
Gray had some trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Looked like he was a little bit surprised that it was in his glove. He didn't exactly stay down on it. And you can see, as you said, a little trouble getting down the line.
I think he got caught right at first base too.
Bang, bang.
So Rockport, Indiana is 1 out away from an opening victory. Eli Larson is on the hook as the losing pitcher unless he can keep Nebraska in it here. Hunt, a slow wind and a deal. And he paints the outside corner, strike 2.
Well, the lowest leg kick for a full windup I've ever seen, but he's successfully getting the ball over home plate.
Foul tip. Larson stays alive. These bleach blonde baseball boys from Rockport, Indiana, finding a way to be the Cinderella here at the World Series. 0-2, just missed.
They have had people at their ballpark watching and listening to games in the past. I wonder if they're out on an early Friday morning.
I bet they are, but most of the town is here. 1-2. Fly to center. Brown sizing it up. Rockport wins. The Indiana squad hangs on and takes the opener 6-5 over Lincoln, Nebraska.
Early lead for Rockport, and then the game tightened up in the middle of the ballpark, and they had enough at the end to shut the door and hang on to win this one. Turned into a very, very entertaining baseball game. All the scoring late for Nebraska, all the scoring early for Indiana. Terrific game.
Took about 2¼ hours. The victory goes to Anderson Smith. 6 innings, he allowed 5 runs, only 1 strikeout, but his RBI triple in the 3rd and his sacrifice fly in the 4th were both big swings, and it's Nebraska falling short by 1 run. Rockport, Indiana. The bleach blonde boys from the Hoosier State, victorious to get our quadruple header of Legion ball started here in Shelby. All smiles from Indiana. We're back with you in about 40 minutes. Game 2 of the day, Greece, New York, and Chesapeake, Virginia. First game in the Stripes Division this year here in Shelby. For Larry Sorensen, Bill Leffler, say so long for now. Indiana wins at 6-5.